Hey guys, it's Nik the Booksmith. Welcome back, welcome back. So today I thought I would show you a little project that I have been working on. And it was inspired by this envelope that Victoria sent me. Isn't it beautiful? So as much as I love this gorgeous little envelope with Glassine, it's not going to get used because it's beautiful. So it goes like in a frame, like one of those frames that have the two pieces of glass and you squish things in between it. Yeah, that's where it's going. So that was my inspiration, okay? So what I did was I made some glassine like I did the other day, and this time I used the sewing pattern tissue paper just because it matched the closest I thought with the glassine on the envelope. And then I made kind of two facsimiles thereof. The base is made from an old file folder, like those old hanging file folders, because I have several of those and they're inexpensive and I can almost always find them at a thrift store somewhere. So they have some lines on them, but I don't really mind that. I don't really mind that. So I made one with the return address on the outside, and then I made this one, with two windows, and it has the return address and the to address with, and then there's a little stamp, and then there's trim, and it's just kind of cute. So what I did, what did you do, Nick? Tell you what I did. Tell you what I did, what I really did. So when I made the first one, I went ahead and scanned it and then added some more stuff, because that's what you do if you have Photoshop. You know, you gild the lily. So I made a printable, and I made it in two sizes. So there's a larger one, as you can see. I made it as large as I could fit on a regular size piece of copy paper for most, printers. And then these are the address cards that go behind, for in the windows. And then I made a smaller one and was able to fit the envelope and two choices of the address cards to go on there. And then, of course, I'll show you the bigger one. On these, I was able to add some more cool, like some digital stamps that I don't have the actual stamps for, but I have, I have the digital stamps. So I was able to add some more interest to the envelopes. So that's what I did. So, but I hear you're saying, but Nick, I have file folders. I hear you, boo. So two things you can do. You can make your glassine, and if you have an envelope board, which my envelope board and I just made friends. There was an altercation the other day. Nobody got hurt. I'm not gonna panic. I am smarter than the We Are Memory Keepers thing. I am smarter. I swear by all that's holy, I am smarter than this piece of plastic. Select card size, trim paper, align left edge to punch guide measurement. I did that. Counterclockwise, align score micro. I know what I did. See, this is the envelope groove. This is the score. Yeah. Is following directions working? But I almost tossed it out the window before I, stopped and read the instructions and then stopped again and figured out what the instructions really wanted me to do. So, we made friends. So you can make your own envelope. You can do that. And then you use your own cardstock or your own file folders or whatever. And you're like, but Nick, what if I don't have an envelope board? Well, that's okay too. That's all right. Because in the kit, there is a printable template, which I wrote on already. So there is a printable template, And I just made it in black and white, like shades of, actually it's more like, you know, dark gray, because I didn't want for a printable to use up a bunch of ink, but I wanted you to be able to see the details. So here is the printable, and I just printed it on the back of just a cheapo, you know, piece of scrapbook cardstock that I wasn't really jazzed about the, you know, the print. So what I did was I took, here is a piece of just whatever you got. You can use a file folder, if you've got scrapbook paper, you know, it doesn't matter. And I lined it up somehow on the edge like that. And the reason why it's already drawn, let me tell you, is because I did this previously and it was filmed, but I forgot to turn on this camera so you could see what I was doing. So you could see my face and me, I'm like obviously doing something, but you couldn't actually see what I was doing. You know, semantics, right? So I drew around. So then you have a, you know, you can cut this out, right? And you can also cut out the little trim pieces, which I'm not gonna lie, kind of a pain in the butt because they're so skinny. So, I mean, these are totally optional. You don't have to have trim. You could even cut this out and then on this side, on the pretty side, you could draw, like take a ruler and draw an edge around it, and you could just color it in with a Sharpie or something, or put washi tape around it or something to make it look, you know, super cute, right? So you could do that. Or the third option in the kit is that it comes with Png files. And so there is a Png file for the shape of the large envelope and for the shape of the small envelope. All right, so you can do that. So what is so nice about that is that you can let your brother, your Silhouette, your Cameo, your Cricut, etc., 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 do all the hard work for you. I mean, how dope is that, right? I think that needs to be done. I like it when, you know, stuff is done for me. So this is the one that was done by my Cricut Maker machine. It cut it out for me, and then I just took my scoreboard and just scored it so that it would be easy to, you know, flip the corners over, which is the bomb. Love a scoreboard. I mean, if nothing else, guys, get a scoreboard. Just do it. Just do it, man. So at this point, you can do all kinds of stamping if you want, if that is your preference. You can get out all kinds. I mean, if you want to, you can make it any theme. You can send these through the mail. You just can't put, please don't put these addresses on them because they won't go to whom you want them to go. So, as far as the Glassine is concerned, if you don't have a printer, or let's say your printer ran out of ink, or you're like, dude, and you don't want to make just plain Glassine, so before you do the Glassine technique, you can stamp anything you want on it with regular ink. If you've already done the Glassine technique, stays on, works really well. So I got some timber brown, and so if I wanted to like put something on there, it looks, you know, it looks pretty rad. So on this one, I even used part of the sewing pattern as like part of the interest. I don't know, it's kind of cool. And then on this one, you can see I did some stamping with some stays on after the fact. After the fact. So what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm going to position this. So the bottom flap is the one that's going to have the point cut off. So that's going to be your bottom. That's your bottom. And then if you would like to go ahead and stamp some stuff, you can do so. I'm just going to take my script stamp, because this is the top. And I'm just going to kind of put some script on there just to do it. Just because all the cool kids are doing it, I want to do it too. So then here's a little stamp that says important, and by golly, it is super important. So I'm going to put that on there. And where do I want to put that? Where do I want to put that? I'm going to put it like down there. There's a little arrow. So now it's going to have to face this direction though. It's going to be important. Like, look at me, I'm important. Because it has an arrow pointing at it to show you what's important. Okay. So like I said, gild the lily if you think the lily should be gilded. Gilded. Not gelded. That's when they neuter a male horse. Totally different. Absolutely different thing. Just don't do that. So I'm going to just ink the edges a little bit. Okay. I think that's enough. All right. Let me shake this off. Now I'm reminded of a Taylor Swift song. It's not like I'm a huge fan or anything. It was one of those songs that was on the radio like every, 10 minutes. And you're like, at first you're like, oh, well, this is catchy. And then after the first 10,000 times, you kind of just, you want to throw yourself out the window while driving down the interstate if they play Shake It Off. One more time. Okay. I've got this little number stamp that I had already kind of ready. I was kind of deciding what I wanted to do. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp it because it's here. So if you close it up, you can kind of see where you might be able to put it so that you'll be able to see it, later. Okay, I'm done mucking around, I promise. I will get on with it. Okay. So like I said, I made the glassine. So that is going to be the first order of business, is to run a bit of glue around the edge of both windows on the inside of the envelope. Inside, folks. And true to character, I'm sure I used way too much. And I'm just going to place that over the top of the glassine and put a book down, hold it down if you'd like. You want the glassine to be kind of taut on the inside. You don't want it all loosey-goosey. So even if you flip it over, because I'm going to trim the excess off here. And you could totally cut it to size ahead of time, but I'm the kind of person that I would, put it in the wrong spot. So I just take my craft knife afterward and just give it a little trimmy trim. And then that way I avoid much frustration later. So you can kind of just make sure that it is, nice and taut over, in the windows so that it's not gapey and loosey and goosey and, wrinkly and... Okay. Then I'm going to choose one of the address cards. So see how that will fit in there, and use whatever one you want. So I'm just gonna grab this one. I'm gonna leave some white showing around the edge just to give me a little bit of extra leeway I don't want to cut it too short because these just fit in the windows. Sabe? So, and you can see where, there we go. You can see where there's some little teeny tiny writing down in there. I like that to show. So that's kind of my, guide point. So my guide point, guideline, that's what I look at. So I'm going to again run a little bit of glue on the inside again, around the windows, but on the glassine. Put down my address card and then that's what it looks like underneath the glassine. Pretty snazzy, huh? Pretty snazzy. So since I cut this a little wide over here on this side, you can measure ahead of time if you're an ahead of time kind of person. So there we go. There we go. So now you can grab your wee little windows. Okay, so I just made these out of gray this time. And just an FYI, with the PNG files, there will be a README document so that you can know the actual cut size of the envelopes and trim and everything, so that it will fit the address cards if you choose to use the printable address cards. You don't have to, but you know how it is. You know how it is. You put a document, open a document up into, well, I'm just going to say, you know, Cricut design space, and it's supposed to be, you know, such and such of a measurement on a 8.5 by 11 background or whatever. And it opens up like 4 times bigger than it actually is. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because then it's like, I don't know how big it's supposed to be. I didn't make this. It is a graphic designer's nightmare. I'm just going to tell you. Just going to tell you, we hate it. We hate it. We had a meeting. We all hate it. So that's why I put the actual cut sizes, so that you'll be able to resize. That's it. So that's the kit. That's it. Here's my envelope. Look at this. Look how cute it is. If you want to cover these up, like the back of the address card, I mean, you know, please do so. You know, and cover that up. I love it when they do the whole thing where they take pretty paper. I've got pretty paper right here. So I love it when they take pretty paper and they cut it just shy of the size of the of what you're going to be putting it in. Where's my pencil? Oh, there it is. Outline. Hugely bad. So you have to cut it just inside because it has to be just shy of that. This is easier to do before you put the envelope together, but of course I think of it now, so I'm showing it to you now. Better late than never. That's what she said. And then you can insert it in your envelope and you just glue it in, and then it makes a liner, which is kind of cool as far as I'm concerned. I think it looks really pretty. So you don't have to use heavy cardstock like this because it really makes your envelope really, really thick. So maybe use something a little less bulky, but since this is what I had lying around, this was the victim. Sacrificed for the sake of the video and time and less comatose subbies. Do it for you guys. Do it for you. Like I said, much easier to do before you put this together. Why do I think of these things afterward? Okay. Here we go. So pretty. Okay. So see, that makes it really, 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 really bulky. So there is our envelope. And there is the back all lined if you choose to do that. So I hope I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope you're having fun with your glassine. I hope you're making all kinds of wonderful things because now you can do so for pennies. Pennies on the page, right? Pennies. So if you are interested in the Digi Kit, it is all loaded up at Etsy for the PNGs, and they are in a zip file. And zip files are just easy for most people. Probably 90–95% of people. You just double click on it and it opens it, and you just copy all your files and you can drag them off onto your desktop. And then you can use them from there. Some people may need an extraction software like Hamster Light, or there's a bunch of free zip file extraction. But I think most computers, like I said, at least 95%, I'm sure, you just double click and then you just click and drag all the files off and just put them on your desktop so that you can print from there. You can't print from a zip file. So take them off first. So anyway, the PNGs are in the zip file, and that's for your Cricut, your Silhouette. So, but the rest of them are in PDFs. It's got the templates, it's got the printables, it's got the PNG files, it's got, where did I put it? It's got a page, because you can't have an old envelope without receipts. So there is a page with 2 receipts, top and bottom. There's 2 different receipts. I printed this out on the painter's masking paper, which my printer actually feeds through very well. I haven't had it crumple it up yet. And then I gave it a quick shot of the clear semi-gloss spray paint. And I actually think it was lacquer, semi-gloss lacquer, clear lacquer, because that's what I found in the cabinet, because I used all the semi-gloss, other stuff I had. So anyway, so there's receipts to put in your envelopes, because I wanted to think of everything. So I hope you enjoyed that. There is also a PDF that has the instructions. I took pictures as I was building one, and so there's like 13 pictures or 14 pictures in there that show step by step how to put, one of the envelopes together. If you are now brain dead from the length of this video, you'll have something to reference later. All right, kids, thank you so much for joining me today and listening to me ramble. I am finishing up the class. I am almost done. Almost all the editing is done. So thankful. So that should be coming out really, 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 really soon. So I'm excited. So I will be back really soon, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.